Welcome, boys and girls, to Kingdom Death Monster. My name is Keejchen, and today I will be starting us on a journey. This is a bit of a mouthful to take in, but bear with me. This is a tactical board game. I call it a tactical arena board game with base building, crafting, and a monster hunting system. And so I'm going to zoom out a bit here. This is our first monster that we will be fighting. This playthrough will be taking place in the TTS mod found in the workshop. This is Tabletop Simulator, and on Steam, and on that there is a workshop. You can go and find a mod, and you can play this game. Some very kind soul has made this beautiful thing. I just wanted to show you what it looks like. All these little notes that are around are helpful tools showing how to play and use the mod. I have read them all and will probably not need them all, but I'm gonna make a point out of at least showing everything on screen at least once so that you guys can pause and read if you want. But if not, then fine. I will try to give voice to everything that is necessary to know as we go through it. The playthrough here, today we're doing the prologue, and it's kind of meant to be a tutorial for the game. And so if you don't know what Kingdom Death Monster is, that's fine. I will take you through the whole thing. And we will probably play an entire campaign if I can get around to it. Like we're talking about something that will take place over the next year, at best. Other than that, if you are an experienced player, then don't expect the world. I mean, it's going to be fun. I'm going to try to make it as fun as I can, but I'm a relatively new player myself, so I don't know all the rules in and out, and I make mistakes, so be forgiving. But feel free to leave comments in the section down below and inform me if I did anything wrong. Now, let me talk a bit about Kingdom Death Monster again. Like I said, a tactical arena board game with base building, crafting, and a monster hunting system. It's a lot to take in. Let's start with the first thing. It's a tactical arena board game. So in the middle here, we have this very beautiful piece or board, which is the arena, monster fighting arena, the showdown board. Here we will always have 4 survivors battling a monster. And this is the White Lion, the prologue monster. There are tons of monsters, and this one's the one we hunt in the beginning of the game. Let me go this here. And then I said base building, didn't I? Over here we have our settlement. We can build out our settlement here, and some of them will spawn little shops where we can buy stuff. Then here is a resource sheet where we can store all of our resources that we have collected and that we will be using. Same with gear here. Up here we have a tech tree kind of thing with a deck here. Innovation deck that will continue to grow. Here's the archive. And in here is the starting deck. So every time we find a thing, like we start with language, it says add language consequences to the innovation deck. Same if I find another innovation here, which is it's a research tree kind of thing. But then you add ammonia consequences to the innovation deck, and they will be over here. And so the innovation deck will grow. Just a brief intro to that. Down here is where we will record all of our survivors. We only start with 4, but then we will be gaining more, and they will make love and make new ones. The starting characters will eventually either die or retire, and then you have this whole cycle of a settlement with some generations going on. Kind of cool. Over here then is the hunt board, where we start a hunt, and then we hunt a monster. We have to find it in here, and there will be events, all kinds of stuff. This is a lot to take in, I know, but let's take it to the next step here. We're starting from the bottom. So this, like I said, it's going to be the prologue / tutorial. But I will be playing with all expansions in this playthrough. And there is a community edition going on in the community, and there'll be a link to that in the description down below. In fact, I'm going to be linking all the stuff in the description down below. So if you're like, where can I find information about this? Go to the description, and I will have linked stuff. But to suffice to say, the community edition is kind of a collective of players who are fascinated with the game, and they are working on improving some balancing and stuff. And the creator of this mod on the Tabletop Simulator has been so kind to include all different campaigns in this fully automated thing, and you can click and unclick the expansions and the community edition in here. So these are all the expansions that we are playing with currently. This is everything that is in the game as of Kingdom Death Monster Edition 1.5, with the Community Edition, I think it's 2.02, just for future reference. I have already begun this campaign, and I have created 4 survivors. Most of that is done automatically. I've given them names. So here we have Gabriel Logan, we have Pepper Potts, we have Mr. Poopy Butthole, and Never Did Ned. Some favorite names of mine. In fact, when you name a character, they get 1 survival. Let's maybe talk a bit about the survival sheet real quick. So every survivor or character looks like this. This is a survivor board. And most of the stuff goes on right here. They have a name, a gender, once per lifetime reroll that is currently ticked. If they have to skip hunt, we can click here, retire, dead. Then there's a XP track. We have courage, understanding, and weapon proficiency, all which are at 0 at the beginning. You start pretty bland, but then you build up. We have then different hit locations here. Brain is for insanity and stuff like that. Then you have head, arms, body, waist, and legs, where head is the weaker one, having only 1 hitbox, injury box, whatever you want to call it. Once you run out of these, there's this whole track over here where you can lose limbs and stuff like that. And instant death is, of course, in there. So don't get hit. We got armor. We start with 4 basically naked guys. So they have cloth, a piece of loincloth. Then they have a founding stone, which will be explained a little bit later, but it's like a special stone that everyone finds at the beginning. And then we can fight with fist and tooth and nail if we run out of weapons. So we start very bare bones, and we'll be fighting against a lion. I think it's time for me to, let's see, start from, yeah, good. So, without further ado, let me introduce you here. I mean, I'm not going to read all of this right here. This is a monster is played by 1 to 4 players, so you can play it alone like I'm doing. It's fully cooperative. Oopsie daisy. So if you are playing with friends, you can play up to 4 people and control a character each. Just remember that your characters won't necessarily persist through an entire adventure. You will have to change them out. Up to 5 and 6 players if you're using a variant, but we do not recommend starting that here. That's fine. Over the course of the game, we will be going from showdowns to settlement phases to hunt phases, and this is sort of the cycle of the game. Showdown is where we fight the monster, then we go home, we use resources, craft new equipment, then we hunt a new monster and try to defeat that in a showdown. And of course, the cool part of the game is in the showdown, and we start with one of those. There's like a fully automated or scripted, not scripted, but like an automated AI for the monsters with various hit locations and stuff like that. And let's see, we go further. Let me remove the stuff at the top there so it's less busy. This game includes more monsters and many options for customizing survivors. Yeah. Prologue. Begin your campaign. Gather some friends, or do it alone. Turn the page, read the first story, and start playing the prologue. Let's do exactly that. And the art in this game is also really, really cool. So, look at all these faces. Once upon a time, there was a place of carved stone faces. A man with a lantern lay sleeping a dreamless sleep. The man knew nothing. So the entire floor is covered with these faces. I actually didn't really realize that, but I think that's everywhere because I've seen a lot of hints or references to that. All right. One day, the man woke up. He rubbed the dried ink caked over his eyes and opened them. Around him, he saw other people stirring, and beyond, a horizon of unbroken darkness. A woman approached the man with the lantern. Her soft hand reached out to him. They had no words. They were a mystery to each other. Suddenly, a monster emerged from the darkness, its eyes wild with hunger. It attacked. The people were no match for the monster. It tore their flesh and crushed their bones between its teeth. Some it devoured whole. Overcome with terror and grief, the man with the lantern collapsed to the ground, cold stone noses pushed into his side. There was no escape. But the man did not want to die. Desperately grasping at its cold stone faces, he felt a crack and tore at it with all his might. A piece of stone came free. It was sharp and deadly. The man with the lantern scrambled to his feet, his weapon clenched in his fist. He took a deep breath and roared into the darkness. Somewhere in the place of stone faces, nameless men and women stand together. They have nothing but a need to survive and a lantern to light their struggle. Boom. So that's the founding stones. They collect these off of the floor which is specifically made entirely of stone faces. You can even see it on the arena. Yeah, so we are in like this mystical, I wouldn't say Cthulhu realm quite, but whatever. It's like a darkness fantasy world where everything is grimdark. We don't need this one. We can to the side, make it less busy here. Good. So, we start with 4 people, they wake up, then they are attacked by a lion. The first story is a prologue to Monster. It will teach you the fundamentals of the game. Always start with the first story. The first story picks up after awakening the survivors. Before they can take stock of their surroundings, the survivors must fight for their lives against a vicious white lion. Alright. And again, you can always pause and read the whole thing. I've been through the tutorial a few times now, so I try to mark out the most important one. Look at this art here. God damn it. Alright. Create a survivor. This is automated because of the mod. So these are the survivors down here. They're basically telling us how to set that up. With that here, yeah. It looks different because in real life you have these pieces of paper, and so it's different, but we have all the same stuff that is here. We have the attributes, and when we name our survivor, they gain 1 survival for having a name. Learn about survival. Yeah, so they represent a desperate desire to cling to life. And in the first story, survival can be spent only to dodge. So that's what is represented here. We can only use the survival action dodge. We have 1 survival. Later on, there will be other survival actions added to that track, and we can use it for various things. Other than that, we have movement, which is the number of spaces a survivor can move each turn. Then we have speed, number of attacks, accuracy, attack precision, strength, attack power for wounding. Evasion is the opposite of accuracy. We would subtract that for the opponent's accuracy. Luck is the likelihood of lucky attacks, also known as critical attacks. Survival. Insanity is insanity is kind of strange in this game, to me at least. It's like armor for the brain. So you can take brain damage, which will give you disorders and trauma. But if you have insanity, that works as a armor for the brain. Courage and understanding are fluff stats, but they have various effects based on events and stuff like that. Can't be used in combat. Hunt experience is accrued experience, and weapon proficiency can give you specializations and bonuses. Okay, and movement specifically. So you have 5 movement on a basic survivor. They may move up to 5 adjacent occupied spaces each turn, counted cardinally, not diagonally. So this is very important. Everything in this game only counts range and movement cardinally, never diagonally. All right, and survivor hit locations, like we went over, they have the 5 body parts. Armor can subtract damage done to those body parts. So like I said, we had that cloth armor. This one has a 1 with a shield up in the top left corner and a little waist symbol, meaning it gives 1 armor to the waist. So when we take 2 damage to the waist, we would subtract it, move it permanently. It's called ablative armor in my experience. That's what I would call it. And then the rest of the damage would punch through. So it doesn't work like forever, and it's not damage reduction, it's ablative armor. All right. Brain and insanity. Kind of the same thing. You have a brain as a body part that can be wounded, but you don't take physical damage, you take disorders and various insanities. Insanity specifically then is the armor for the brain, armor points. Check your weapons, everything's fine there. There's also tokens for each one of those different stats that we covered. Yep. Next page. First story, the White Lion. We will create the White Lion AI deck. Again, this has been done automatically. And if I click in here, all I did was go into the showdown and click White Lion and then prologue. It's the only time we'll be using this one, but then there are other versions. And here's a little spoiler for the different monsters that can be battled. Yeah, it has these cards. The prologue lion. Set up its location deck and has a basic action. The showdown. All right, so let's look at this one up here. It says the showdown setup is shown here. Monster will start in the middle, and then we are allowed to put our survivors in any of these spots here. The place where it has put us already is probably considered the better starting setup, so that's fine. We'll just use that. And then there are some details about how monsters work, and this is kind of important. So when the game starts rolling in a showdown, every turn we will be drawing a card from the top of the AI deck. Let me get the numbers up on here. So right now there's 8 in here. Let's just take an example here. I'll shuffle them again later, but later on this one will say size up. Oh, so this is not even an attack, but size up, then it picks a target and it'll go from top to bottom. So if it finds something in the top, then it won't go on, but random threat in field of view. And that means, in field of view, then you're asking what is field of view? Well, it's up here. Closest threat in field of view. Field of view is basically the entire board, except the two spaces in the creature's blind spot, which is marked over here. This is the blind spot for the White Lion. Other monsters might have different blind spots or no blind spots at all. But if it says closest threat, for example, in the field of view, it will target any survivor in who is closest, except if they are in this specific blind spot. Then there's another thing which is closest threat is kind of the same wording, but then it says facing, and then it'll be in range as well. So facing is going forward, and in range means then depending on the movement, this would be a different shape, of course, or smaller. But it has 6 movement, so it could reach all of these spaces here. All right. Closest threat facing in range, and then if it can't find anything with that, it goes to the next closest threat in field of view, and then if it finds no target, it has a sniff. Every creature will have a thing that if it can't do anything, it'll do the final thing, which is here, the instinct is what it's called, which for the White Lion is called sniff. It has a really good sense of smell. So it will end its turn, and next turn it will be able to see all your dudes, and if it's a higher level lion, it also gains extra accuracy. All survivors are now threats. You can become not a threat in various ways, but that's not important right now. Like being knocked down or dead, I suppose, is a good way of not being a threat. All right, but we are sort of approaching the point where we can start playing, I believe. Move and attack. So then it explains all the different mechanics. I think I can just start playing and you will see it in play. Damage survivor steps. Yeah. But I like to scroll over the things so that you can see and pause if you want. What happens when a White Lion hits twice? Deal 1 damage to 2 hit locations. 3 and 5. Waist is rolled, body low is rolled. Damage to weight reduces armor, points to 0, and the other one would mark an injury. Yep. Player decides order, first waist, then body. Yeah, we are good. Moods, brain trauma. Next page. Here it shows that we can't move diagonally. Pretty standard stuff. Good. And turn the page when you have beaten the prologue. So, let's try it out. In the first turn, first of all, the monsters always go first. So the white lion will take its turn first. We will shuffle the white lion deck and just go for it. Let's see what we find here. Here is Enraged, Mood. So this is a special thing. I've never seen this one before. When this comes into play, draw another AI. Okay. Sure. While Enraged is in play, the white lion gains +1 damage token per monster level. So that's +1 because it's considered level 1 for the prologue. A damage token increases the damage dealt on monster attack profiles. Yep. When a survivor suffers any dismembered, severe injury, or is killed, discard Enraged. That is a terrible first draw. Wow, that is... Haha. Okay. Fun. We might not survive the tutorial. Here's a damage token, so we give that to Mr. Lion, and he does now +1 damage. All right, and that one. So up here we have like a thing, and this one it's called a mood, like it says up here at the top, and that means that it stays in play as is indicated. It also draws another AI card, so then it immediately goes on and does the next thing. All right, this one says Chomp. Pick a target, closest threat, facing Enraged. And here we have, if you check it out like this, is facing our dudes. It will take the closest threat. They are all at the exact same distance if you count cardinally. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 6, or 6, or 6 to never did net as well, right? So that means it could be any 4 of them. And then when there is a choice, we have something called the monster controller. And that means that this player down here will decide who gets attacked. And since I'm controlling all of them, it's just going to be me. And if you target your own survivor, you gain 1 insanity for that bold action. Insanity, again, being brain armor. So that's a good thing. And so for my opening, I always, I haven't yet experienced any case where that wouldn't be the case, where I didn't get the choice of targeting my own dude with this setup. This is why this is nice. And so we are going to do that. We are going to say the white lion targets Garviel Logan. Good. Then there's a little arrow on the card, which is important for later, but not right now. And then it says move and target. Move and attack target. So, yeah, it'll move. We can kind of decide where it goes. Like there's no, like it can go over here or it can go down there and turn this way. I haven't found any rules that specify one or the other. I believe that the monster controller decides then when there's like, for the lion, it doesn't really care. I mean, it will care because we can flank it from here. But the lion is an animal and not smart enough. And so we can sort of manipulate it to go here. I put it in this position. Then it says move attack target. Speed 1 means there will be 1 die rolled. Then it says accuracy 2+, so it hits my survivors on a 2 or above. It literally it can only fail on 1s. All right, 7. So it hit. And then it says damage 1, but I believe it gives another damage from this one here. Yeah. There's also a trigger. It says after hit. The hit will always hit the target's head location. Fantastic. All right, so we don't have to roll for hit location, but there's this die here. And one of them is the head. So we do 2 damage to the head on red. That's kind of bad. So first of all, he will take the damage to the head. There's no armor. So then it goes down and becomes these injury boxes. There's only 1 heavy injury box. It's got a border, which is what it's trying to indicate here. And when you lose the H, the heavy location, the heavy injury, you get knocked down. Boom. That's one thing. But we suffered 2 damage. So it'll go in and take that thing away, and then it deals another damage. And whenever you have overflow damage, then you come over here. And that's, I mean, this is kind of brutal, but fun, I guess. So he now has to roll on the head location hit chart, and there is a die here. See what it goes for. 4. All right, you are dead. Decapitation. That is pretty brutal. So I think then we would use this once in a lifetime reroll to try to survive that. Fun. 6 then. Death. You won't hear it coming. Suffer -1 permanent evasion. This injury is permanent and can be recorded once. Gain 1 bleeding token. Alright, so he lives. -1 evasion. Obviously not a good thing. Evasion token. And that is a permanent. Oh, we don't have to give a token for that. That's right. You record that directly. Where's the evade? Here. -1. And then I would write in notes, diff. Great. Yep. Good start. Good start. That was his attack. Then this is after hit. Always hits the target's hit location. Dealt 2 damage. Good. Then he's done with his turn. Then you discard his AR card and put it faced up over here. There's still 6 white lion AI cards in here. All right. Then it is the survivor's turn, and I will bring up the battle UI here. This is another feature for this mod, which is great. I like it. It's a little bit confusing, but I'll take you through it. If we will start, let's just say we start with Never Dead Ned here. We will move. No, just let him be here. Then Never Dead Ned. He has 2 weapons, Fist and Tooth and Founding Stone. That'll be the same for all of them. They all have the same stats, so that's more or less all the same. A Founding Stone and the Fist and Tooth. They cost an action to use, like an activation. You have a movement and an action. Then it rolls 2 dice. Then it hits on 8s or above, and then it has a 0 strength modifier. And then it, Meanwhile, the Founding Stone has the same stats except 1 more accuracy, I guess, and 1 more strength bonus. Then the Fist and Tooth says deadly, so they have +1 luck. And up here you can see it all. It's like Fist and Tooth and Founding Stone both roll 2 dice. A Founding Stone hits on 7s, Fist and Tooth on 8, wound on 6, wound on 5, and then critical hits is based on the luck stat here. So the Fist and Tooth crits on 9s, and the Founding Stone will crit on 10s. All right. So, Never Did Ned will attack the White Lion. I like using the Fist and Tooth. This one will, because its critical hits are pretty important in this game. Having the 10% chance extra of critical hitting, to me, is more important than hitting more. And I hope everyone agrees, otherwise we welcome some debate, but whatever. So we roll 2 dice, as indicated here, and we hit on 8s, but since we are in the blind spot for the dude, we get +1, so we would hit on 7s. 2 4s will not do any damage, and then I will move 1, 2, 3, and come 5, and come up here, moving a bit out of the way, and ready to come back in and attack again next turn on 2 different sides. Good. And we can take the survivor's actions in any order. So I will move Mr. Poopy Butthole up here. Boop. We will attack with Fist and Tooth. No, let's see, it's on 7s. So yeah, we will not be hitting with 6 and 3. Can't divide up your movement either. So I moved Never Did Ned after attacking. And we move Mr. Poopy Butthole before attacking. You can do either, but you can't do both. So he's stuck there now, and meanwhile Pepper Potts will also attempt to do some backstabbery. Rolling 2 2s, okay, so far so bad. And Garville Loking, being knocked down, is not allowed to do anything. He will get back up, after the next time a monster ends its turn. So it was done during the monster's turn, which means that he will have to wait until the monster's next activation to stand back up. So it's not even yet. After its next activation, which starts now, we click the next turn button over here. That moves the monster controller over there. And then the monster will draw another card. And now we're playing the game. Everything is rolling. We have a claw. It says, pick target, closest threat, facing in range. So, Gabriel Logan is currently not a threat. He is knocked down and not considered a threat. So the first clause on pick target cannot be satisfied. So then we go to the next one, because it says facing, and that's in front. Then it says closest threat in field of view. And these two are not in field of view, but Never Dead Ned is. He's not in the blind spot. So it will pick Never Dead Ned. Yep. And then it'll move and attack him. Let's see. Again, I believe we can decide that the monster goes up this way. And this is just my own, as far as I have tried to find a thing about if there are specific ways I have to move the monster. But as long as it does the thing on the card, I don't think it cares. And I mean, you're not allowed to move it off in another direction, obviously. It has to go, if it can get to Never Dead Ned, it will, but it can, and it did. So everything's fine. It has speed 2 for claws. Accuracy is 2+, so it hits on everything above 1. And deals 1 damage, but 2 damage because of its mood. So, hold on. Let's see here. When a survivor suffers any dismembered severe injury or is killed, dismembered severe injury. I don't think we got. That would not be what we got, right? Ah, no. See, some of them are highlighted with dismembered, and we didn't get that on the death. So I don't think we have gotten rid of the enraged yet. This is such a tough one. We would not have had the injury on Gabriel Logan right now if not for this thing, and we might suffer another one here, right? Yeah, so we have 2 hits coming in. So then you roll the 2 hit location dice, and says for Never Dead Ned. Oh, didn't have to shuffle him. We have a body and waist. So we'll find him. He is over here. We'll take waist first, sure. 2 hits. So that's 2 damage on waist. And then on the body, boom, boom. And he loses the heavy one, so then he is knocked down. Good. But that is the end of the monster's action. Gabriel Logan gets to stand back up. And then it is our turn. Oh, I think he hold on. I'm gonna backtrack a bit here. He could dodge that. Let me read the dodge action yet. I haven't actually used that a whole lot yet. Sure. Survivor hit locations, learn about survivor. There must be a spot where it specifically describes the dodge action, surely. Move that. Dodge, survival actions. Once per round, spend 1 survivor to cancel a monster hit from an attack profile after hit locations are rolled, but before any severe injury rolls. The survivor can dodge a hit of their choice. It becomes a miss and does not cause damage, brain damage, and damage outside of attack profiles like grab cannot be dodged. Survivors cannot dodge while they are attacking. Oh, didn't know that. All right, but we were not going to. So I think, yeah, we are going to dodge the hit on the body for that 1 survival. And so then he's not knocked down either. Could have done that for Gabriel Logan, but I'm not going to backtrack that much. So, I mean, this literally just happened, so it's fine. Now we come then to the survivors. So Gabriel Logan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He ain't scared of nothing. He might be wounded, but he's going to be fine. He will go in. He still has his dodge then, so here we are rolling with fist and tooth. And it's 2 hits, 9 and 9, and it's 7 of that hits. So finally we get to see how that works. So then you draw hit locations. And here we found the beast's flank and the beast's ear. And they have a little thing to themselves, like a little system of their own. So here, once we have drawn them, we are now trying to wound the guy. We have hit, now we need to wound. And we will crit on 9s because we have the fist and tooth. Wound on 6s, crit on 9s. So, and we can do these in any order. If we wound, he said this beast flank here, if we wound and not a critical wound, but a normal wound, that is if we roll 6 to 8, then that would be a normal wound. Cats hates this in the flank. The monster is very upset. Attacker gains the priority target token. Fantastic. And over here, beast's ear, the white line jumps back. Without turning, move the monster one space directly away from the attacker. Cancel all unresolved hits. So here's an example. If I did the beast ear first, and it fails, then he will jump away from me, canceling the rest of the hits. So we want to do the wound first. Oh, the beast flank, I mean. So we are doing that. I'm just going to use this die here. Beast flank. A solid 2. So that is not a wound. So this doesn't trigger. And there's no damage. We will discard that one. Then there's the beast's ear over here. Again, on 6s. Could be nice. Oh wow, a 1, so it's a failure. The white line jumps back. Without turning, move the monster one space directly away from the attacker. Cancel all unresolved hits now out of range. And that makes it land on top of Never Did Net. Then, there's a thing for that. Movement collision. If a monster ends his movement in a survivor-occupied space, the survivor is knocked down and suffers knockback 5. Fantastic. All right, and let's see, we'll just do it over here. Again, I believe I can choose the direction, but we'll just go up there. So then he doesn't get to do his action this turn, because he is now knocked down. Fun. Then Mr. Poopy Butthole will go, also trying to get to the blind side here. He is the blue character, so blue dice. Oh, and we didn't wound, so this one is discarded. 5 and 4 ain't nothing, and then the green player will attempt the same. Pepper Potts coming in. Nothing. All right. Couldn't be worse. Good stuff. Let's see. It's White Line's turn. We will click next turn. Draw this one here. Power SWAT. Closest threat facing in range. There is no one in facing. Then it's going to be closest threat in field of view. And there is 2 in the blind spot, so it'll be Garvia Logan. Fun. Closest threat in field of view. No target sniff. Move and attack. So yeah, it's going to move in here. Let's be honest. So that means these 2 would be knocked back like that. And after damage, the target is moved 6 spaces in a straight line directly away from the monster. Knockback 6. Yikes. Okay. So it wounds, it has 1 speed on this, so 1 die, and it fails on 1s. Didn't fail. Alright, 2 damage to, let's see. Oh, he even has -1 evasion, so he literally cannot dodge it. And it's a hit attack again. Are you kidding me? Alright. Well, he might die. Yeah, he's dead. Head explosion. Your head erupts in a shower of gore, killing you instantly. All other survivors are so disturbed that they lose 1 survival. Oh my god. This is a slaughter. Oh, he can dodge that. He can dodge that. Alright. Oh, I needed to dodge before. But I keep forgetting about the dodge. In my first solo playthrough, I did a little test game, and I thought that I could do all of these actions, even though they weren't added to the track yet, because they're described in the manual. So I've been using surge and dashes specifically only, which are really good survival actions. You just can't do them yet. I didn't know. No, but we will dodge that hit. I think that's fair. So he spent his survival, that dodges a hit, so then he is not dead. Then monster turn ends. Good. But that's not, it's not looking great, I'll be honest. Mr. Poop Butthole and Pepper both were knocked down during the White Lion's action here, so they're not standing up yet. That'll be after its next action. So, Ned will move down and attempt with Fist and Tooth to backstab this guy. There's an 8, so that's a hit. Drawing a hit location. Glorious Mane. Impervious. Impervious hit locations cannot be wounded. A wound or critical wound will not remove AI cards or defeat the monster. So we haven't seen how that works yet, but it'll happen eventually. Just not with this card. We can't deal actual damage with this by wounding here. But if we get a critical, we get the Shimmering Mane White Lion resource. So that'd be nice. Let's get a 9 then. No, 7 does nothing then. It's considered a wound, but like we said, that doesn't work here. So no wounds are dealt. And then it'll be red. So red will attack with Fist and Tooth. With 1 hit. I believe, yeah, only 1, right? Because it's 8 up normally, yeah. We'll draw a hit location. I should stop shuffling the deck. Sometimes that's bad. No bad stuff here, so it's just about wounding. We get a 1. No wound. Alright. Fun stuff. Next turn. White Lion AI says, Terrifying Roar. Pick a target. All non-death survivors. Look at that. There's one that won't be hit. Alright, so, I mean, that means everyone but Garvey Logan. It says then, intimidate all targets. Roll 1d10 per target. If the result is 2+ and is higher than the target's courage, target suffers 1 brain damage per monster level and knock back 6 in sanity. 2+ and higher than the target's courage, and they all have 0 courage. So here, that's a 10. So yeah, she gets hit. That is 1 brain damage, which there's no insanity to block it, so that'll be 1 hit there. And that was green, so she gets knocked back into the wall, but that doesn't have any effect. So then you just keep going. Next here. Yeah, he gets hit, knocked back 6. Now that matters because now he will be even further away from the combat and have to run back for over a few turns. Not good. And a 3 means you get your brain damage and knock back 6, which is further away than he can move, so he can't get back in 1 action either. Alright. Then it says, perform basic action, target the furthest survivor in range. Oh, really? In range. That'd be down here. The furthest away that he can reach. Basic attack action, and it has a basic action up here, which is speed 2. 2 hits. Waist and body on green. Can't dodge when you're knocked down, so waist and body means you get knocked down, but it didn't matter because you were already knocked down. And then let's see, that's the end of the monster action. I do believe that Pepper and Mr. Poopy Butthole both get back up. I don't think Never Did Ned got knocked down, did he? I don't know if brain... I don't think you get knocked down from taking the brain injury there. So I don't think anyone is knocked down right now. I'm not 100% sure about this rule, but whatever. Discard this one. I'll do my best to research rules in between episodes, especially the ones that I come up with here. So there's no doubt that Mr. Poopy Butthole will just be running. Never Did Ned the same. Garville Logan can get in range to attack, so he will. It's a rough fight. That's a 9, so that's a hit. Let's see if we can get a wound in. There's a punishment for failure. Strange Hand. And what do we get? A 6 is a wound, I believe. Oh, no, not next turn. Whoops. Um, 6 is a wound, so we didn't fail. Good. We didn't crit wound either, but we have landed a wound. And when you land a wound on the monster, you take the top card from the AI deck and put it in the wound stack, face down. So now you see how the AI deck has been thinned, and we don't know which one has been removed. And this makes for a lot of replayability, this justice system, because some of these cards I've never seen before, just because they get removed like this. And so every White Lion fight feels different. And that's just one creature, right? So very cool. Yeah. And we didn't get the critical wound thing. But Garvin Logan's turn was not unsuccessful. Green gets to attack. I think I will move her. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. That's fine. Pepper pots. And that is no hits. The other two moved, and so then it's next turn. I already clicked it. It's red again. Then the White Lion will go. Size up. Pick a target. Random threat in field of view. No target sniff. Random threat in field of view. So we're making some misplays here. I think Loken is not getting spotted, so he cannot get his brain for selecting himself. Because he's in the blind spot. So it's one of the other three. In field of view, intimidate target. The monster stares down its prey. Turn to the face of target. Roll 1d10. One of assault the 4+. Yeah, but they all are missing their brain stuff, and no one has insanity. I'll pick green so that we can flank him. And then, yeah, on a 4+, the target suffers 1 brain damage per monster level and is knocked down. So only on a 4+. There's a chance that this fails for him. Nope. Alright, so green is about to suffer a brain damage and is knocked down. When you, and since we have already ticked the box, we are now looking at the, not the injury table, but the brain trauma over here. So then we roll the die for that. And it's a 6 danger seizure. You thrash about wildly, dealing 1 damage to yourself and every adjacent survivor. Gain a random disorder and 1d5 insanity. And every adjacent survivor. Alright. 1 damage to yourself, that would be to a random hit location when unspecified. So feet, green. And then you gained 1d5 sanity, insanity, that's nice. That is divided by 2, round up, so 2. And then it said what? What was it? A random disorder? A random disorder. Damn. Haven't seen a lot of these yet. So here is our random disorder. What is it? Narcissistic. Narcissistic. There is nothing in the world more beautiful than yourself. You may not wear armor at the head location. Oh my god. If you are wearing armor at the head location when you gain this disorder, archive it. And archive it means to remove it from play, basically. Or like put it back in the box, right? So we're not wearing head armor right now, but damn. The head armor is obviously, since head is the weakest spot, one of the most important things. So, not good. But we're still breathing. And now we already did the next turn thing. Yes. So, it is the survivor's turn again, and she got knocked down, right? Butthole is running. Garville Loken will attack here. Getting a 9, so there's a hit. Failure will do a bad thing. Alright, we will roll. Oh, that's a 9, so that's a critical wound. Alright. On the beast's tricep. So critical wound. So when you hit a critical wound, it says cancel R on this card. That is reaction. So the failure or any kind of reaction would be cancelled by hitting the critical wound, first of all. Then it says, the torn muscle causes agonizing pain. Discard one mood currently in play. What? The white line is knocked down. Amazing. We discard the mood. We also, because we rolled a critical wound, we still do 1 damage. Is that the only card in here? Yeah. And he gets knocked down. While the monster is knocked down, all reactions are cancelled and all hit rolls will succeed on a 3+. So now he's much easier to hit. That was a good thing. We'll do it like this. Except we can't get a lot of attacks in, but we can attack from here at least. Let's go... Yeah, let's go here. And white will now attack with 2, again with fist and tooth, but now hitting on 3s. So we should get some hits in here while he's down. Yep, 2 hits. Like that. I shouldn't shuffle, it's like a compulsory thing, but sometimes the decks are ordered and I have accidentally shuffled them before while that was the case. Anyway, beast knee, there's no reactions anyway, so there can be other reasons why we would do them in a specific order, but no, it doesn't look like it. So then I just line them up like this and say this one's for that one and this one's for that one. It's easy to remember. I believe these are no wounds. Yeah, on 6s, so didn't get any wounds out of that. That is unfortunate. All right. When does a... I think I forgot, but I don't remember. I mean, I think I knew at some point. I don't remember when monsters get back up. Knock down. I know I read that one just recently. Alright, I have Google open in the background with the wiki. I highly recommend the wiki for this game. While the monster is knocked down, cancel all reactions, yeah. A knockdown monster stands when it draws an AI card, or a trap is played, or at the start of the next turn, monster or survivor's turn. Okay. Yeah. So it is about to stand up. And Pepper was knocked down in its last turn, so she's still down, indeed. Alright. Now there are no cards left in the AI deck. Then you grab the discard, put it over there, shuffle it, draw the top. And then we start over. So Claw. This one says, closest threat facing in range. There is no threat facing in range because Pepper Potts is not a threat right now. She's facing down. So then it says closest threat in field of view. And I think we haven't clicked next turn here. Closest threat in field of view. So there's no choice because there's only one that fulfills the requirement. Never Dead Ned is closer than Mr. Poopy Butthole. So he is getting targeted, Mr. Ned here. That is going to be with speed 2, hitting on 2s. That's a crooked die if I ever saw one. That is 2 hits. Okay. A body and glove location over here. And he's no longer in range, so now it's only 1 die per attack. Or 1 damage per attack. And it was body and arms. So there, no knockdowns for that. Good, we satisfied his thing. Then it is our turn. And I think I'm going to start doing this little show here that I had developed myself. There's tokens for every one of the heroes. And so in order to keep track, what I do is I say, right now I'm moving Garvey Loken down here. I'm going to move his token to the right side of the board, so now we can see he has moved. He is going to strike in the blind spot. There's a hit with an 8. The beast's tail has a reflex. Reflex triggers on wound and on failure, but of course not on a critical wound. So we would like right now, we would really prefer if we could do a critical hit. That would be on a 9 up. We got a 9, no way. All right, so ignore the reflex. Go down to the bottom. It says critical wound. Cancel reactions. The white lion's tail is destroyed, ruining its finely tuned balance. The white lion gains -1% accuracy, and you gain gain one lion tail white lion resource. All right, so there's a specific resource deck for this character. Let's see here, a tail for this one. Then let's see, tail there, and that is for red. Very cool. Lion tail. It's surprisingly heavy. All right, and he gained -1 accuracy token for that, for destroying his balance. Accuracy token. You flip it around, now it's a -1. Meaning he now hits on 3s. And it's not a persistent injury, so it does go to the discard. All right, it can happen again then. Destroy his tail even more. All right. That was red. Pepper would be standing up right now. Boy the way. Then can we get another character to the back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Oh, and then I moved Logan incorrectly. You can't move through other survivors. So now she can't make it here. That's actually a really bad play by me. But it'll be fine. We'll go over here. Stab with Poopy Butthole. Fist and Tooth. Hitting on 8s, so not a hit. Pepper Potts. Oh, that was you. Now we're moving Pepper. She's got a hit, a 10. So then we draw a hit location. We've got a Beast's Scapular Deltoid. If we have a failure, the monster will charge. So we would like to critical wound. There is a character in front. Yeah, Mr. Ned. So that would be bad. Let's just roll this one here. We can grab the black dice or like neutrals. Yeah. Oh, it's the right one. 2. Okay, so not a wound and not a crit. So it says failure. Full move, monster forward in a straight line. Cancel all hits now out of range. Any survivor passed over suffers scrap. So this thing badly away. Full move is here. Never Dead Ned is placed in front. With grab, it says, grab, place target, knock down in front of the monster. Target suffers 1 damage per monster level. Should have moved him first, obviously, since he was standing in front of the monster, and this is a thing that often happens. So there's some inexperience from my side. And that was all the other characters. Then it's white, and white is knocked down, so he cannot move. Then move these back over there. Click next turn, and then it's the monster's turn. We'll draw the AI card. Terrifying Roar. All non-death survivors. Intimidate all target. If the result is 2+, yeah. Okay. So he fails on 1s. That's not a 1. Target suffers 1 brain damage per monster level. There's just 1, and she has insanity now, so she's fine. And 6 knockback. Be over here. You don't get knocked down from knockback necessarily. Then blue also gets hit by that. Not a 1, so that would be a trauma. Three. Memory loss. Lose 2 levels of weapon proficiency, which we don't have any, so that didn't do anything. Fantastic. All right. A 2 is enough. It's 2+, yeah. So that's 1 brain damage. And blue also got knocked back, so over here. And white will now be knocked back all the way up there. And suffer a brain trauma. A 10. Frenzy. Gain 1d5 insanity. Oh, 1. Okay. +1 speed token and +1 strength token. What? Ignore slow on melee weapons. You may not spend survival. You may not use fighting arts. You may not use weapon specialization or weapon mastery. Can be gained multiple times. Last until the end of showdown. Oh, that's really nice. +1 speed token, +1 strength token. 1 speed, 1 strength. Sometimes it works out to our advantage. And those are temporary tokens. There. And when we add them down here to this little track, it automatically temporarily adjusts his stats. Beautiful. Good, that was his thing. Then it says perform the basic action against the furthest survivor in range. In range. There are no survivors in range. What then? Target the furthest survivor in range. Alright, so let's say basic action here. Closest survivor in field of view in range. No. Closest survivor in range. No. Okay, then sniff. So it sniffs. Sniff says the white lion sniffs the air and ends its turn. Until the end of the next round, all survivors are now threats, despite any effects that say otherwise. Okay. Then white would stand back up, and it is now our turn. I believe we are completely out of range with everyone. I am not sure how to handle this situation. I think what we're going to do is we are going to try to outplay a little bit here by doing this. You can do a lot of strategic stuff in this game to work around the AI, right? So we didn't attack. I'm not doing anything else. Yeah. Then we will say next turn. Monster will go. Power SWAT. Closest threat facing in range. There are no one in range. Then it will pick closest threat in field of view. Oh boy. Yeah, I was hoping that it would be the bottom group so that it's not targeting the lone guy up there. And that's what we're looking at. It will do that. Here. Closest threat in field of view and move towards that. So it can't get to him, which means that it will end its turn like that. Right? Getting as close as it possibly could, but it couldn't get all the way, so there will be no attack. We have outplayed a bit. Good. Then, let's see, white is still, of course, out of range, so like that. Did he get all his bonuses from that brain trauma? Ignore slow one, may not spend survival, but I don't think that's relevant. We don't have fighting arts, and we don't have special weapons. Can't get behind the lion, but we can try to attack the lion from this side. And then hope that it turns to face Mr. Poopy Butthole. That sometimes happens, so we will activate blue. Hitting on 8s. Oh, 2 hits. Ooh. We only dealt 2 so far, so we need some good hits here. Fuzzy Groin, you hit the monster in the ding-dong. Or Fleshy God, there's a failure thing. So we are doing the Fuzzy Groin first. It's a crit. Ooh. Amazing. Gain 1 lion testes, white lion resource. Perfect. We got the lion testes. Yes. Amazing. I love this game. A hefty pair of nuts. All right. Then, persistent injury. Lost ding dong. Your attack destroys the white lion's healthy genitals. The monster is livid. The white lion gains +1 damage token. Oh, shit. That is so dangerous. All right. He didn't like that at all. The attacker permanently gains the priority target token. The white lion will attack them until the attacker is dead or the white lion is dead. No exceptions. Oh my god. The priority target token is over here. Boop. So if you hit the lion in the nuts, you get this baby. I believe it goes underneath. Not sure how that works. Or we can put it... Where do you put it? Does it specify? Placing it under your survivor, yeah. Okay, let's try to do it like this. Let's make it bigger, maybe. There, whatever. And he was standing here, or she. He. Good. That also causes a wound, obviously, so we get rid of a card. Hopefully that we have discarded the mood now, because if he gains another damage token, I think that would be bad. Actually, that might not matter, but here we go. We're still doing the fleshy gut, so not a wound, so this is a failure. The white lion swats back, perform basic action against the target. So yeah, we did indeed make him turn his facing. That's nice. And then he will do basic action. So that is speed 2, accuracy 3+, because he has -1. So he hits some 3s against blue. Yeah. Oh, he missed with both. Amazing. The luck is turning. All right. Amazing. I mean, that's wow. And we didn't wound here. Now there's 11 cards here, and one of them will be a trap, so we gotta watch out a little bit. But I don't think there's anything other to do right now than to go in and attempt. So swinging with fist and tooth here. Nothing. Okay. Then green with fist and tooth. Oh, of course, coming over here. There's one hit. Beast's Paw. All right. Oh, you don't want to fail this one. Gains extra damage on that counter strike. All right, let's just use this die here. We got another crit. Okay, luck is really turning. So we cancel the reaction. Your attacks destroy the white lion's foot. It loses leverage. The white lion gains -1 movement token. Gain a 1 lion claw, white lion resource, and persistent injury, broken foot. Ignore the effects of grab. Also really nice. All right, so there's a persistent injury up here. We gain the white lion resource. Claw and claw, yeah. For green. And a -1 movement token for the lion. That was all of our actions, though. Oh, we didn't take a wound away for dealing the damage. Good. Wow, so I think we've turned it around. I mean, we've suffered some pretty heavy losses. And just, well, losing hearing is pretty bad. But other than that, this is why I'm running fists and tooth, is to get these extra resources. These resources mean so much throughout the rest of the game that I want to use fist and tooth to collect and harvest as many as I can, even in the prologue. And I think we might be paying a little bit for it, but we're still living, so it's fine. It's next turn. The white lion will reveal a card. It is the enraged mood. Oh no. All right. When it comes into play, draw another AI card. It will deal 1 extra damage, so we will just copy this one. Now it's +2 damage for all attacks. Then it says, when any survivor suffers any dismembered, severe injury, or is killed, discard in range. Yeah. All right. Then it needs to draw another, so we take the deck, shuffle it, draw the top. It says Power Swat. And we don't have to pick a target, because there is only one target. It picks you. When you are picked as a target, discard this token, unless something specifies otherwise, e.g. fuzzy groin. Yep. Can't get rid of it. Alright, so move and attack, target, speed 1, so only 1 attack. Accuracy is 2+, but that's 3+, so there's a chance that this misses. But it does 4 damage with that attack, so that will be an injury if there's a hit here. But it fails at a 1. Are you kidding me? That's so lucky. Yeah, and that's all it did. Alright, good. Easy. This game's easy. Alright. I know it's getting a little bit tilted earlier, but it's turning around. So, it's us. White. Might as well move last, because there's a chance that the white lion starts running around when we begin hitting it here. So let's go with red. Hitting it in the butt. 2 crits? Wow. I mean, those are not crits, but they're 10 and 10. then there's a chance that they become crits over here. Still no trap, okay. Beast Temple has a failure where you get attacked back, and then you have a strike at the monster's throat. I think there's a kill chance here, yeah. Chance to just kill it in one action, which is amazing. Let's go for that one first. On 9s, we crit. On 6, we wound. So this was not a thing. Didn't get anything there. Then we're rolling for the Beast Temple. That is a 7, so it's not a failure. It's a wound. Take the top of the AI deck, put it over there, but nothing else happens. Okay, good. Then we will go for green. Same story, Fist and Tooth. 7 hits because we are flanking. So 1 hit, Beast Ribs. Alright. If we wound and the attacker has +3 understanding, then we would get a survival. Yeah, we don't have that. So it doesn't matter, we just need to wound or crit. 1 does not do anything. So no wound. Alright, and then blue attempts. Might as well. Here. Fist and Tooth. There's a hit and another hit. Amazing. No traps. Maybe there are no traps. I don't know. In the prologue. But whatever. Failure, then you full move. And failure, then you also full move. So it's the same. Do we have a preference? This one, if we crit, we would give it -1 accuracy again. Nice. And if we crit here, we gain a White Lion resource, which is what we really want. Roll 1d10. If the result is 10, the White Lion dies instantly. Okay. So let's do the Beast Chest here. A 6. Means it's not a failure, it's a wound. So we take a card from there to there. And then we discard this one. Not a failure, so nothing else happens. Then the Beast back. And we're getting close to killing it here. 3 is a failure. So, full move the monster forward in a straight line. Cancel all hits not out of range. Any survivor passed over suffers scrap. But we have a thing. Here. Broken foot. Ignore the effects of grab. And so then it's just moving through. And when it's just moving through, it doesn't do damage. Or knockback or anything. It's only if it lands on top of us. So it's like, there's no grab. Yeah. It just passes through. Which is still annoying. But it didn't harm us. And then white will just move to close the distance. I believe Mr. Poopy Butthole started here, so he can in fact move now and run away. Maybe good. We will run up here. Since he is the priority target, he can maybe kite the beast a bit. Right. We even know what's going to do. It's going to do power swat because there's no other AI cards left. Right. I mean, it's going to have to... Its next turn, we're getting to the point where it's really wounded and it just starts doing one thing. It will do the power swat. Closest threat, but it doesn't matter. It's going to go for Mr. Poopy Butthole. It can't reach him, so it'll go like here. And then in turn. AI discard. And then we have a kill chance now, I think. Can't get behind it here. Can't get behind it. Yeah, we can't really get behind it. But Never Did Ned is the better character right now because he has extra speed and strength. So if we bring up the battle UI and look at Never Did Ned's Fist and Tooth, he now wounds on 5s and rolls 3 dice with his thing. So we will copy a die and we are hitting on 8s here. 1. There's the trap. Clever ploy. Trap! Reshuffle hit location deck. The attacker is caught in the White Lion's ruse and is savagely mauled. The attacker is doomed. Perform basic action, target the attacker. Doomed means you may not spend survival until the card is resolved. And then it says trap minor rules. A trap cancels all the attacker's hits and ends their attack. When a trap is drawn and knocked down, monster will stand. After a trap is performed, reshuffle all hit location cards, including the trap card. So like this. And it did a basic attack against him. Basic attack up here is speed 2. Oh, and it has 2 extra damage on all attacks. So 3 damage per. It's gonna butcher him now. Wow. Okay. He has no survival. He's also doomed, so it wouldn't really matter. Well, let's hope he survives. That is 2 hits. We will roll hit locations, body, and waste. So it's 3 damage per. So I guarantee you that he will be knocked down and take critical hits in both locations. All right. Let's see. Let's go waste first. Just because I think body might be the kill. So waste. Probably waste isn't a good place to be hit either. 5. Warped pelvis. Your pelvis is disfigured. Suffer a -1 permanent lock. This injury is permanent and can be recorded multiple times. Gain 1 bleeding token. Alright, so a bleeding token. This. It's temporary. And then he has -1 lock permanently. Disfigured. Hip, I think it was. I just like noting that down because why not? This warped pelvis, sorry. Also just figure out where the bonuses are coming from. Warped pelvis. Or never did Ned. Alright. Do. That was one of the things. Then he takes a body critical 2 on 1. Instant death. The blow sends a bone fragment directly into your heart, killing you instantly. So he has his once per lifetime reroll. We will untick that and try again. Need it again. No, he is dead. All right. So that has a few consequences. That is never did Ned. So he is flipped down already. Good. Bring him out here. I've actually never lost a character before, so there's a few things ongoing here. He's dead. He, what else happens in this instance? If you take 5 bleeding tokens during one fight, you die instantly. So that's how bleeding works, which is a very different system than most people are used to. But if you, for any reason, have 5 bleeding tokens, you don't get more bleeding tokens from just having the one. It's just like it's tracking blood loss. And if you take too much blood loss, then you die. But now he died from other things. Right. The enrage mode says here if a survivor is injured or killed, discard enrage. So it'll be discarded. And then I think that was it. So that was him attacking. The other 3 have not acted yet. Okay, not a good start to the round. We were doing so well, and now he died. Pepper Potts then. Go for it. No hits. Gabriel Loken. Tooth, Fist and Tooth. Double 1. All right. And then we can't flank with you, but we'll put you here. On 8s. There is 1 hit here. I think I already shuffled, but I will do it again here. Beast's Elbow. All right. Come on, give me that wound. No, we did not wound. Oh, there's a thing for failure. Full move monster, straight forward. Yeah, that's why we placed him on the side. So like that. He should maybe have run in order to once again kite, because he is going to be targeted now. We will have to redo the AI deck, then shuffle, then draw 1, and it's the power swat. So there's no target picking. He will go for Mr. Poopy Butthole, and he can do it. Speed 1, so it can fail. It has only lost 1 accuracy. Thought maybe we did another, but I guess not. Maybe I didn't record it. In any case, right now we are looking at 3+ hits. Can we survive? No. So it will do... Oh, it has lost a damage token. But this is 2 damage plus 1. It's 3 to the legs on blue. So 1, 2, and then an injury. And then it says after damage, knockback 6. Oh. So I can be removed. Knockback 6. It's down here. And an injury on the legs. Right? Yep. A 10. Lost balance. The blow sends you sprawling and you are knocked down. Okay, so not too shabby. Could have been worse. I mean, he was knocked down anyway, right? Oh, I don't think he was knocked back. He was knocked back, but not knocked down. Now he's knocked down. All right. That one is discarded. So if now we know that the mood is here, if we can get that discarded, then we would be rid of it. We can't flank. Put him there. Red acting, blue cannot act. So, red, come on, get that kill. No hits. Green, get that kill. A hit. Flip it. Beast knee. Okay. On 6s, nope. Nothing. And there's no punishment. You hit the white lion's sturdy kneecap, and it didn't do it. Alright. So then it is next turn. I might be forgetting to move the monster controller every once in a while. That is my bad. We know this is the enraged mood, and then it wants to draw another one. That'll be the power swat. And it cannot reach him though. So it'll go there and stop. And then it is our turn again. These tokens over here. Mr. Poopy Butthole would stand up. We will go and attempt to flank the white lion. Kill it. 1 hit, 2 hits, because it's flanking. Yeah, so 2 hits. Potential death here. Let's see. No bad stuff. Oh, there's a bad stuff here. We can't get the priority target. Okay. Here we can knock it down. And one... Oh, here we get a white lion resource. It doesn't really matter which one I go for first. Let's just do this little trick again. I do like rolling both at once. We get a wound here and a crit there, and that's 2 wounds. So it's dead, but it's also knocked down. That didn't matter. Okay. So what's happening is that the first wound will... This one's over here. That will force me to draw from the AI deck top. There's nothing. Then you move it over here, shuffle. There's only one. Move it there. Now we're trying to deal another wound. And the beast doesn't die when it has no wounds, no AI deck anymore. It'll try to do the basic action every turn. And then you have to land the final blow to finish it off. We do that with the beast flank. And it's worth noting that it has an AI card up here, but it's not currently in the deck. And so I'm honestly not 100% sure, but I believe it doesn't count as an HP in the same way when it's stuck up here. So if for any reason it had been moved down, it would of course count as an HP, but it's only discarded when it injures or kills, and so it hasn't been discarded since last time it was activated. And we have now won. We've lost a character. Never Dead Ned. Well, that didn't work out, that name. But that would be the end of the showdown. So then, we have beaten the prologue mission. Not an easy fight. I thought it was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Then we come to the settlement phase. Collect your rewards. By scavenging the monster's corpse, the survivors earn resources. This is in addition to any resources earned from critical wounds during the showdown. 4 white lion resources and 4 basic resources. So we are looking over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3. These are basic resources. And then we have White Lion resources. Here are strange resources. Haven't really seen those yet. Vermin here. Tactics, severe injuries. Oh, War Pillars is a card. I didn't know. Aha. That would be for... Oh, yeah, well, he died. But there would be one for being deaf. Ability impairment here. There. Then I will give his... Wait, what? Oh. It doesn't do it automatically then, I think. Some of the cards are automated when you put them onto the track. Not the injuries, apparently. Alright, but this is cool. There's a little card for it. And then you just reset the deck. And then it'll add another deck in here. There's fighting arts, abilities, and disorders, right? Okay, let's have a look at our rewards. Some good stuff here. What is this? Question mark, question mark, question mark. You have no idea what monster bit this is. Can be used as a bone, organ, or hide. Oh, really? Nice. A joker, so to speak. And a curious hand. When you gain this, a random survivor gains 1 insanity. Holding this fills you with sadness. Okay, so we gain an insanity on someone. You have 1, you have 1. Well, I guess we will give 1. Actually, it's better stacking it on one guy, usually. But these two are both bad characters already, so I'll give it to the one who hasn't suffered any permanent injuries or anything. Anything else here? When you gain this, a survivor of your choice gains +1 insanity. Alright, so we will grab another insanity for Mr. Poopy Butthole. Then, oh, not anything for these? No. Good. So these are our rewards. We will move them over here, just like that for now. I believe there's also, in the Aftermath, players should fill the first unfilled box in the Hunt XP section. Yep. So that would be there, there, here. We also lost a lifetime reroll on Garville Logan, obviously also bad. We don't have to write deaf. This is by far the worst prologue I've ever been through, so we'll keep going, it's fine. It's just worth noting. Could be a lot better, but we have some nice resources at least. So we have a broken lantern that is considered scrap. We have an organ here, hide. I'm using my old system here. This one new, that's cool. Probably from one of the expansions. Bone, fur. These are hide resources. This is hide, and this is an organ. All right. So that was the rewards. Take out the white line, place them all face up. If players lost their survivor in the first story, they can create new survivors in the settlement. The pair of survivors' gear and resources are not lost. They are returned to the settlement with the remaining survivors. I have wondered about this one. They can create new survivors in the settlement. I wonder if we get a free replacement for this guy that we lost because it was the prologue specifically, or we have to use one of the new ones. But I'm not sure, so I'm not going to do a free one. But there might be. But whatever. So then you set up the settlement board. That's already done. Use a new double-sized survivors return. Notice below that the settlement name. That returning survivors gain +1 survival when the settlement. Yeah, so all of them will get +1. So now we are opening up the timeline for the first time. We have not named our settlement. Oh, and I haven't thought of a name. I'll leave it hanging for right now, but when we do name it, we get a +1 survival limit, and everyone gains or the returning survivors gain +1 survival. So, and we can have up to 2 now. Good. Again, I wasn't. If I had used this dodge action here, he might not have been deaf. But other than that, I mean, we lost. It was so close. Like we almost made it through without major losses, and then we lost Ned. That is unfortunate. Survivors return. The returning survivors gain +1. Survivor when the settler is named. Then they heal, right? So there's a automation for that. Heal and reset. Heal and reset. Heal and reset. And it also deletes the temporary tokens down here. Not really sure what to do with the dead guy, honestly. He's dead. It's still marked dead, yeah. We'll figure out what to do with him. Add the names to the population list and the gain endeavors. Endeavors are creative energy accumulated from experience. Each returning survivor generates 1. Use endeavor tokens to track. So we actually have less endeavor. Yeah. But we would get 3. I like to put them up here. 1 for each returning survivor. And this is the first time I experience not having 4. Jesus. Not good. Update the timeline. Then timeline. In here we have defeated 1 white lion level 1. This is how I write it out anyway. Over here we will show. Oh no, this is not the one here. We're about to start doing the first year, but we'll do it slowly. We'll do the settlement phase and set up for the next adventure, and then I'll cut the episode there. So update timeline, settlement event first day. So that is hidden up here. Here. It says the first day. Settlement event will help you set up your settlement. It is the first event of any new campaign. The survivors wander, drawn to a blooming light in the distance. They find the serene comfort of a towering pile of lanterns and a small collection of scared people. On a deep instinctual level, they know this area is safe and they make it their home. Roll 1d10 to determine your starting population and record the result in the back of the settlement record sheet. Choose and record genders for unnamed survivors. You may name an unnamed survivor and create their survivor gear at any time during the settlement phase. Okay, so we will roll a die. Or 2. All right, that's bad. 6 unnamed survivors plus returning survivors. So 6 new here. 1, 2, 3, up to 10, like that. And they do not have names. This one is dead, yeah. Can we... oh, I can hide dead. Yeah. So there's a way we get rid of him. Like this. We have dead survivors 1. It is even counting them up here, and living 9. Good. Very good. 6 unnamed survivors. Then return to the settlement section of the first story and proceed to returning survivors. Indeed. And cleverly enough, the guy who made the mod has made it so that you can go in here and click the event up here. So we will do that. Look at this. We find this pillar of bones and faces. Returning survivors. Nominate a survivor to utter the first words. So who is our speaker? Probably not the deaf guy. Narcissistic sounds right. I don't know. You know what? Let's let Mr. Poopy Butthole be the speaker. Sure. He will utter the first words. I will write that down for him. He is our speaker. So, the nominated survivor steps forward and gains +1 courage. Boop. Ooh-wee. They lead the other survivors in learning to speak to one another. They discuss their situation, realizing they must hunt to live. Add the white lion to the list of the quarry list on the settlement record sheet. That's what I did in here. There, quarry. We have hunted 1. That's what I'm marking there. Your settlement gains the language innovation, which is already present over here. Search the innovation cards for language and place it face up in the player. Yeah. Language is your first innovation. It will spark the creation of the innovation deck. Build the innovation deck. That has been done for us already. Finished with their work, the settlement gathers around its glowing center. Lantern Horde. And it's the board game in the art. That's amazing. Glowing center. Armed with language, the nominated survivor aptly names the glowing center of their home the Lantern Horde. The settlement gains the Lantern Horde settlement location. That is already placed down here. To search the place in the affair. The nominated survivor sits in front of the Lantern Horde in awe and gains +1 understanding. They must skip the next hunt phase as they ponder the meaning of their existence. So then you come down here and find Mr. Poop Butthole, give him 1 understanding, and they click skip next hunt. They cannot be selected as the parting survivor for this phase. Return to the first story to complete the settlement phase. Right, and that is around number 10. Here. Trigger events, returning survivors. And then I think one of the expansions has added this approaching storm, which would take place now. Update the death count. Yeah, let's do that thing. I don't know what it is, but let's try it out. The approaching storm. The settlement's weather takes a turn for the worse. A light appears on the horizon. From its origin, rolling masses of storm clouds approach the settlement, soaking everything in perpetual sheets of stale-smelling rain. Sudden flash floods, burning winds, and the periods of strobing lightning continuously plague the settlement, leaving the survivors in epileptic fits. You may now hunt a gorm, added to the quarry list under the settlement record sheet. Okay. The gorm. Add gorm climate to the next lantern year on the timeline. Gorm climate to the next lantern year on the timeline. Gorm climate. Okay. Nominate a survivor. They gain +1 and insanity and brave the storm. And then there's a roll. We want to read what that does. The nominated survivor braces themselves against the wind, struggling against the storm. A sudden bolt of blazing green lightning strikes them down. Absent seizures disorder. You can gain blind and permanent speed. You can gain the hovel innovation right away, and returning survivors gain +1 survival. All right. The character can end up with being blind or get seizures, so I think we take one of our other characters, like the narcissistic one. Sure, Pepper Potts volunteers. Sounds good to me. So she gains 1 insanity and braves the storm. All right. Then she rolls a die. Good luck, have fun. Oh, it almost landed on 10. 6 is not as good, but the survivor stands in the torrent, pulsing psychedelic lights strike them, bringing them to their knees. In a flash of morbid inspiration, the nominated survivor takes a stone to their eyes. Jeez. Oh, she removes her own eyes, basically. All right. So a blind injury. Blind. Pepper Potts. -1 permanent accuracy. A survivor with 2 blind severe head injuries suffers a -4 permanent accuracy and retires at the end of the next showdown or settlement phase, having lost all sight. Yeah, fair enough. But she gained 1 speed, I think. 1 permanent speed, indeed. And that's quite nice. And that's an extra attack. So making her less I'm regretting doing it with the narcissistic one because there's a much higher chance that she would get another blind because she refuses to wear a helmet. But oh, Pepper Potts, what can we do? What can you do? So that was the approaching storm. We will. Oh, this is from an expansion, right? So state. Here. Update death count, check milestones. First time a death count is updated in the settlement, it triggers a milestone, story event, principal death. The group will pick a principal and face the outcomes. Once you complete the story event, get the corresponding principal card and place it on the settlement board. All right, so we have, because we lost a character, we can do it in here. We have unlocked a milestone, the first death. Boop. Let's do that. Yeah. Now we're playing RimWorld. The group must decide what to do with their first survivor corpse. Choose one. Yes, and we can either go for the first harvest or the first grave. And let's see. The first harvest. The settlement decides to harvest the body for resources. The settlement gains the death principle cannibalized. Find the place, the card on the settlement board, and note it on the settlement record sheet. And then you roll 1d10. You can gain various things. But the real important thing is down here. These two cards, the graves or the cannibalize. So we can either gain survival limit +1 whenever a survivor dies, draw one basic resource and add it to the settlement storage. Do not gain a resource if a survivor is lost, ceases to exist, or is exiled. If a survivor dies during the hunt or showdown phase, gain +1 endeavor. Yeah. Or graves. And this is one of those cards that has been changed by the community edition. Some people may notice that this one's different. And there'll be a lot of that going on. And graves, by contrast, then says all new survivors get +1 understanding. When a survivor dies during the hunt or showdown phase, gain 2 endeavor. When a survivor dies during the settlement phase, gain +1 endeavor. All right. +1 understanding, or the one in here. Yeah, I think we'll take cannibalize. Sure, we'll eat our dead. It gets added over there. This one gets deleted. So now we are cannibalizing the dead. After adding the card to the settlement, roll 1d10. Sure. Oh. 8. I mean, I hover over and it says 8, right? So we get the good thing. Nominate a survivor to frantically tear into the corpse. The survivor gains +1 permanent speed, strength, and movement as they greedily feast. Their frenzied feeding awakens an obsessive hunger within the settlement. Alright, and that'll be Mr. Poopy Butthole, obviously. He's our speaker, right. I don't think it has to be one of the old guys. I'm gonna just go for a new dude. So we have an unnamed survivor here. We need a new female. We need to assign genders to them. We need 2 females, then 1 male. Then a female, then a male. Then I don't know. Let's go male. And I only had 1 more name prepared. That's Master Chief. Then by all means, you guys can suggest names. This is a female. Whoops. Master Chief over here. Boop. And they all need to get their lifetime reroll. I believe some people marks it when they've used it. I like to mark it when they have it available. So Master Chief will be the one who feasts on the... We can, we'll call him Gollum, whatever. Since he's going to be a cannibal. Gollum. And then he gains +1 speed, strength, and movement. Ooh, that is something. Speed, strength, and movement. And I will note he was the first cannibal. In case that matters later. All right. We have not had first birth, population, or 5 innovations. Nope. All right. We did these returning survivors. We did the approaching storm. Then there's nothing more. Then we develop. That is where we will spend the endeavor tokens, and we are just gonna build. It is recommended, and we will build the 3 buildings here. I think. Except, can we innovate? To innovate, we need 1 endeavor, 1 bow, 1 organ, 1 hide. We can do that. Yeah, I've been meaning to do that earlier. I think the testes are not. I mean, they're cool, they're funny, but they're not actually super useful. We'll use them, and then we will use. We need to collect the right fur. I'm not sure about the curious hand, so I'll use the tail for right now. And an endeavor token that allows us to innovate. Once per settlement phase, you may spend the listed resources to draw 2 innovation cards, keep 1, and return the other to the deck. So we will do that now. We can either gain Hovel or Symposium. Alright, Symposium is really nice. Gain survival limit +1, and when a survivor innovates, draw an additional 2 innovation cards to choose from. So we get extra survival limit, but then we also, we get more. We can choose between more cards when we do innovate like this. We can research more specific. And then Hovel says survival limit +1 as well. The settlement accepts this nightmarish landscape as their home, and departing survivors would gain +1 survival then. That would be quite nice. Not gonna lie. Yeah, since we have such high survival limit already, I think starting to build up the survival will actually be really nice. So I'm gonna grab that. And then this one says add Hovel consequences to the innovation deck. So then you go over here, write search, and say Hovel, I believe. Hovel consequence, Hovel consequence, Hovel consequence. Yeah. I have to look at them right now. These are all Hovel consequences. Put them into the innovation deck and shuffle. Oh, I think the principle stays up here. So these are innovations. We have principle for new life, society, conviction, and archive indeed. Good. That was. And then we just delete these things. The endeavor token. The decks will be reset with new cards. And then we can build 2 of the buildings here. Bonesmith, Skinnery, and Organ Grinder. We have plenty of bones, not that many organs, and not a lot of hide either. We will definitely get the Bonesmith. I've made them ready here. Bonesmith. Put that in there. Then with that we can forge a skull helm out of 1 skull or 2 bones. And since we have a skull, I will use a skull to forge a skull helm. So that looks like this. We spend the skull, boop, and get a skull helm. It's 3 armor for the head. When you suffer a severe head injury, the skull helmet is destroyed. So don't do that, but otherwise it's a really good helmet. So we'll add that just here for now. We can always shuffle the equipment around before we start an adventure. We will reset the gear and we can do another helmet then later. This is a bone. We would like maybe to make a bone dagger. I really like daggers in this game. The bone dagger is really good. The lion claw is pretty useful. We will use a great cat bones to make a bone dagger. We will. What else can we do? We really have not a lot. We might want to use this one over here just to make some basic armor. So I will build the Skinnery as well. That's the 2 endeavor tokens. The Skinnery will allow us to start working on some armor. And these 5 here are considered a set. There's a set bonus for getting all the rawhide, for example. And we might want to make at least 1 rawhide set. So I will use this thing. And then I guess I don't know. I really want to keep the white fur for another set. So I hope the Curious Hand isn't like a super good crafting resource that we can use later. I'm going to make 2 rawhide headbands, just helmets. Let's see this one here. It gives us 1 armor on the head, and if we manage to get that blue connection, we can get a special ability that we don't really need right now, but these 2, delete those 2. The armor on the head obviously is very important, and notice how it immediately updates the value there. That's beautiful. And now I'll show you guys another cool trick here. I can click here back to settlement, and then now Mr. Poopy Bubble, since he had to skip, right? He had to skip his hunt. Click skip hunt here and save him away. And then what we need to do is say the new guy, Gollum, for example, we want to get him into the fight. So we will do this, drop that thing there, and now it moves him up here. And the equipment persists and can be swapped between members. But the cool thing is that like everything about Mr. Poopy Butthole is saved. He's down here. He's hidden right now because I clicked skip next hunt. But he is here. It knows all the stuff about him. You can see his first words, things, and all the stuff. Yep. And we gotta think about whether or not we want to take Pepper Potts and Garville Logan here, because I don't think. I mean, she did get 1 speed out of doing that event, but she got blind and she's not allowed to wear a headgear, right? So that's kind of nasty, but I don't have enough headgear to give everyone headgear right now. So I think we'll do it. We'll keep her, and she might die, but it'll be fine. I mean, we'll cannibalize her. The organ, and we used all endeavor, so we can't really do anymore. No, it's fine. We could do something with the lion claw. We get some better weapons later that rely on, some of them rely on the lion claw, so I'm reluctant. I think we will try not to spend more resources right now. And that more or less concludes the first episode. Develop includes building the buildings and crafting the gear, and then you prepare departing survivors. But that is something that I would like to say for the next episode. So here is where I cut it off, and I hope you all enjoyed this little bumpy ride. This was the prologue, and I hope it gave you a somewhat clear understanding of how this game is played out, at least in the showdown. We saw us fighting with almost no equipment, fighting a white lion, and we'll do another white lion in the next episode where we hunt at level 1. And we'll have to use the hunt track to hunt it down and find it, and all kinds of crazy stuff can happen, and then we find it and we murder it, and we might die or we might live, and everything will be fine. That'll be it for now. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you soon. I won't promise when this is coming out or how many episodes we do. I'll try to take it as far as I can. See you soon, folks, and bye-bye.